This is the Trailhead sign, which is probably 100 yards down from the parking area. You have to cross the Soda Butte Creek, which is best done in August or September. Otherwise, this is more like a river. There's the peak. The Thunder, actually the Thunder peak itself is actually right behind that peak, right in the middle, I think. But I'll be hiking up that ridge. A lot of nice, beautiful little creeks. A lot of green vegetation on the way up. This is up on top of the saddle. Now I'm heading west off trail to go up to the top of the peak. This is a grouse, a female grouse, probably what they call a dusky grouse, but I can't say for sure. But anyway, the male grouse are a lot more colorful than the female grouse. Continuing up, it gets pretty steep. Getting up into the fog. It's really beautiful up here. And look at the views. I'm starting to get some really nice views looking down into the valley, on top of the fog, on top of the clouds. Steep and rocky, gravelly. Now you can see the Thunder hiking along that ridge line, headed over to it. Have to keep looking back at the views. Heading that way. This looks a little steeper than what it actually is. It's just what the GoPro camera does. This is a good view of how steep it is here. Not too bad. Clouds are starting to break up a little bit. You can see I'm getting up high. Got to get over this little cliff here. And this one here. When I'm hiking in Yellowstone's high country, I often look up and see little white spots. At first I wonder if they're snow patches or white rocks or maybe even mountain goats. So that's when I pull out my monoscope and this is what I see. Perfectly at home in a place that normally looks impossible to reach. Mountain goats are some of the most impressive animals you can see in Yellowstone. But what surprises many people, including myself, is they don't actually belong to Yellowstone's natural history. They were never native to this ecosystem. They were introduced into nearby mountain ranges back in the late 1940s and 50s, mainly for hunting purposes. But over time, they expanded their range, and by the 1990s, they had expanded into Yellowstone National Park. And today you'll find them mostly in the northeastern and northwestern parts of the park. I think their numbers are still growing. It is easy to see why these animals are so interesting to watch. Their climbing ability is amazing. They live where few predators can get to them, on cliffs so steep that most of us wouldn't even think about going up there. And their hooves are perfectly designed for it. The outer rim is hard and sharp, almost like a claw, for gripping the rock's edge. Inside that rim is a soft, rubbery pad that is kind of like a suction cup. It gives them traction even on tiny ledges. So combined with their large muscles in the shoulders and their short, sturdy legs, they can leap up to 10 feet. Life at high elevations is easy for them. In summer, goats take advantage of the alpine meadows, feeding on grasses, sages, and wildflowers. When winter arrives, they don't head down into the valleys like elk and deer. They actually stay on the high ridges where the strong winds keep the snow from piling too deep. Up there, they scrape through the snow to find moss and woody shrubs, stuff like that. Biologists say winter is really about survival for them. They call it managed starvation. But obviously, they're adapted for it and have a fat reserve that they built up over the summer. Spring brings new life on the cliffs. In late May and early June, the nannies, or females, give birth to their babies called kids. Usually it's just one, but sometimes they have twins. What is amazing is how quickly these newborns adapt. Within hours, they're standing, and within days, they're following their mothers across the cliffs. That would terrify most people. And then the mothers and the kids join together in small nursery groups, while the males, called billies, tend to remain on their own or in small bachelor groups. The goats also have their own rut or mating season, which happens from late October and goes into December. During this time, the males become more aggressive, competing for and guarding females that come into heat. It's all timed so that after about 6 months pregnancy, the babies will be born in the spring when it starts to warm up, snow melts, and there's a lot of food. But as we marvel at them, mountain goats in Yellowstone raise tough questions according to scientists. They say that because they're not native to the ecosystem, they worry about their long-term impact. Their studies show that they can affect alpine vegetation, and their droppings and the urine can affect change in the chemistry of the soil. And another note, they also share habitat with the bighorn sheep, so there's concern about competition for limited resources. And yet, when you see mountain goats way up high on the mountain, they are always amazing to watch and to see. Also, mountain goats show how We humans have shaped Yellowstone National Park into what we see today. You can see how the Yellowstone landscape is continually unfolding and how every creature plays a role in Yellowstone. Now I'm heading down. I couldn't really go up higher than where the mountain goats were. The cliffs were too big and too dangerous for a solo hiker. That's looking back at the Thunderer. What kind of track is this? I think it's a wolf track on the trail.